Araw-araw, milyong-milyong Pilipino ang nag-iipon ng barya sa kani-kanilang tahanan. Ngunit, lingid sa ating kaalaman, ito ay may malaking epekto sa sirkulasyon ng pera sa ating ekonomiya.
Ma, gan, dang, u, ma, ga. Magandang umaga.
Magandang umaga.
Yan, ang galing mo, Nay. Oh, ito naman, Nay.
Hello. Yes, I believe we're live. Live na po tayo. Okay. So, good morning, pirates. I hope you can see me and hear me loud and clear. I will be your host for the first part of the Pathfinder career event, spearheaded by the College of Arts and Sciences. My name is Colleen Arcolette, but I go by the nickname of CK. Pwede nyo naman din ako tawagin sa pangalang presyo kasi alam ko ang halaga ko. Hindi nyo kaya yon, alam ko value ko. And in the topic of value, we value the privacy of our audience. So I would just like to inform the audience in Zoom with us that the privacy notice for this webinar is now posted on the chat box. Also, please be informed that this webinar is being recorded for documentation purposes and may be re-uploaded in the official website and other social media accounts of the university. Should you have privacy concerns, please do not hesitate to contact the organizers or send an email to privacy.manila@lpu.edu.ph. Di ako nagbakel, kahit English yon. Straight na straight. Okay, ngayon na nasabi ko na yon, mag-move on na tayo, di ba? Mag-move on na tayo sa mga nanakit sa atin, di ba? Tama-tama kasi speaking of moving on, day na before Valentine's Day ngayon. Para sa mga nakalimot, opo. At pinilit kalimutan ng Valentine's Day, papaalala ko ulit sa inyo, bukas na yon. Okay? Pero ang pagiging bitter, hindi dapat kinakareer yan. Ang dapat kinakareer ay ang pagiging career-minded and focusing on your career. And that is the goal of today's event. To help those who are lost, hindi sa mall, hindi sa kung saan, kundi sa career nila, and to guide those who already have a specific path in mind. Whatever journey you are in right now, this talk is perfect for you. And speaking of journeys, going on a journey is not unfamiliar for our first speaker because she is a travel and lifestyle writer. She was the former managing editor of Travel Life and former associate editor of Metro Style. Everyone, let's welcome our first speaker, Miss Sia Ilagan. Go ahead, Miss Sia.
Good morning, CK. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I hope everyone's doing well. And I know that despite we're on still on a lockdown, I'd like to take you guys on a little trip. No? I'd like to share with you some of the ways that we can go on a trip even if we're stuck at home. So let me just share my screen. I'll be talking about travel journalism, by the way. Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen. Okay, how do we do? Hello, guys, help. Sorry, parang I'm not allowed to share my screen. Okay, let me just check this. Okay, apologies for the delay. I don't know why I can't share my screen. I think the host is the only one allowed to share the screen.
Hi, Sia.
Yes.
Would you like to?
Is it allowed already?
Okay. I think the guys are trying to
Okay.
solve it. Otherwise, is that okay if we move to the next speaker first?
Of course.
So you have the time to to check CK.
Okay. So let's move on to the next speaker first.
Yeah,
Then
we'll go
we'll
back to Visia
Miss
later.
Sia.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sometimes in
Sorry.
journeys, in traveling, we get a bump in the road sometimes. So that's fine. That's totally fine. Now for our next speaker, I can relate to this topic because it's about celebrities. And clearly, we are currently in the face of a celebrity right now. And kitang-kita nyo naman na nag-host ng event na ito, guys. Come on. Using celebrities to raise the influence of a certain brand is one of the most well-known strategies for marketing, which is a field that our next speaker knows very well. He is a former AVP marketing head of PeraHub, a Boitis group. Aside from that, he was also the former SM Investments Corporation for marketing to go retail. Everyone, for our first speaker, let's welcome Mr. Christopher Cañaderia.
Hi everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. Hi. So advance happy Valentine's Day, as CK told you a while back. So we will be talking about the world of celebrities. Actually, it's ambassadorship and influencers. So I'd like to share my screen. All right. Okay. So someone helping me already. Just to very quick background about myself. Just to reiterate, I'm Christopher Cañaderia. I've been in the industry for more than 15 years in the business, handling different brands from FMCG, quick service restaurants, bake shop, luxury eyewear, logistics, supply chain, remittance, media group, supermarkets, and malls and modern trade. Next slide, please. Just to move on, I'd like to take you through the the most influential celebrities in the world. Actually, it's a combination of world celebrities, foreign and local celebrities. With first, I'm sure everyone knows Justin Bieber with a following of 152 million. And our recent Miss Universe, Catriona Gray, with a following of 10.8 million. Another one is the Drought Breaker, our Miss Universe 2015, Miss Pia Wurtzbach, with a following of 11.5 million. And another food blogger and an ambassador on food styling and entrepreneurship, Mr. Erwin Yusap, with a following of 4.2 million. And Solen Yusap, his sibling, with a following of 7.4 million, and Rufa Gutierrez, of course, a very known celebrity in the Philippines, with a following of 1.9 million. Next slide, please. Just to give you a step back, what is really an influencer? So an influencer, according to Google and from Oxford, is a person or a thing that influences another. He or she is a champion of the arts and a huge influencer of taste. You know what, guys? It's all about how being an influencer is all about being authentic and true to what you've been doing for the past years. You just have to create some content that is going to be relevant for your specific market. Next slide, please. An influencer is someone who has the power to affect the purchasing decisions of others because of his authority, knowledge, position, or relationship with his or her audience. A following in a distinct niche with whom he or she is actively engages. The following depends on the size of his or her topic of the niche. If it is important to note that these individuals are not merely marketing tools, but rather social relationship assets, which affects brands and collaborate with specific brands to achieve the objectives, the marketing objectives and the business objectives of their partner brands. They actually just engage your target audience through authentic storytelling with the way they move on a day-to-day basis, the things that they do, and how the audience perceives them and how the audience follow them. Next slide. Now let's first tackle about why brands use influencers. Influencers in social media are people who have built a reputation for the knowledge because of the knowledge and expertise on a specific topic. They make regular posts about a certain topic and about the brand of their preferred social media channels, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and other social platforms. And they generate large following, which engage people who pay close attention to their specific views. Brands love social media influencers because they can create trends that encourage followers to buy products that also that they promote as well. Next slide. What does an influencer actually do? They, contrary to the popular belief, sorry, an influencer is not somebody who spends all their time on social media, but rather they're trying to they are building their reputation for their knowledge and expertise on a specific topic, wherein they make regular posts on a periodic basis about that specific brand or topic on their on their preferred social media asset and channels, which generate large followings of enthusiastic, engaged people and pay close attention to their specific views. Next slide. How many followers do you need to become an influencer? The number of followers you need to be an you need to be an influencer very much depends on the niche in which you operate. There are actually around actually four different types of influencers in terms of the number of following that they have. Mega influencers have many followers on their social networks, often more than 1 million on each specific platform where they are using. People with followers in the range of 40,000 to 1 million are called macro influencers, while most influencers with micro following ranges from 1,000 followers to 40,000 followers. In reality, specialist niches, you have nano influencers with fewer than 1,000 followers. Next slide. Now let's go to the top global influencers in social media. It can be challenging to compare influencers who operate on different social platforms. You easily compare the top YouTubers with those who rule Instagram, for instance. And according to last quarter of 2020, here are the top 10 influencers on Instagram. The number one celebrity influencer is Kylie Jenner with more than 201 million. Cristiano Ronaldo, a Portuguese sports player with 243 million. Ariana Grande Of course, we know her as a singer with 208 million. Leo Messi, another Argentinian sports baller as well, with 169 million. Selena Gomez at 195 million. Kendall Jenner with 142 million. Kim Kardashian West at 192 million. Zendaya at 80.6 million. Beyonce at 156 million. And Taylor Swift with 140 million. Most of these people cross over between influencers and celebrity content. Next slide. Now, on a local basis, the top 10 Filipino celebrities, which we are very much familiar with, are the following. Starting with our brand ambassador for Pancit Canton, Heart Evangelista at 7.1 million. Alodia Gosimpao at 1.5 million. Jamil with 874,000. Kim Jones, the wife of Jericho Rosales, at 823,000. Will Dasovic at 811,000. Team Yap with a little over 543,000 followers. David Gizon, the well-known millennial and stylist blogger at 413,000 followers. Sheila Snow with 241,000 followers. Trisha Gabunada with more than 230,000 followers, and Mikey Bustos at 155,000 followers. This is as of December 15, 2020. Next slide. How does an influencer get paid? This depends on the social platforms where the influencer operates. So the common ways influencers get paid, actually, this is with regards to display advertising. For example, they engage with a specific brand, and that specific brand has sponsored ads. So when they communicate that ad on their specific platform, and when they talk about that specific ad on their specific platform, that's where they also get. Another one are their specific videos and brand campaigns and images that they post on their specific social platforms. Some video and photo sales, and definitely as a brand ambassador or acting as a brand representative, payments to a Patreon account for exclusive content, co-created product lines, promoting their own merchandise. These are the different ways on how an influencer gets paid. Influencers have both reach and influence on their specific audience, which is ideal for brands trying to reach a matching target audience. Next slide. Now let's move on to how to use influencers. Brands can actually use influencers and find specific influencers that is very much tied up with their specific target market using different tools in social media platforms, which is one example of which is a Hipsy. You can find this tool can find Instagram influencers by location, category, and their specific following. To be more precise and discover creators with the specific engagement rate, audience score, type of audience, or many other filters, you can actually go to this specific tool and create your free account and see more than 11 million influencers and pin down on the type of audience that they actually have following with. You can also review their content aesthetics to make sure they match your brand message, and analyze where their audience comes from, their age, interests, gender, or gender. Next slide. So, in conclusion, why influencer marketing has become a very powerful weapon for brands are there are two core concepts. First is definitely they improve brand sentiment. Brands right now always strive to become very relevant with their target audience, to win the hearts of consumers and create a positive perspective on their brand image. So it's no wonder they work with influencers to promote their brands and increase positive brand sentiment. Another reason why influencer marketing has become a very powerful weapon for brands is that they drive a higher return on investment, because you can actually uh, pin down the number of uh, engagement that you get with the use of a specific type of brand ambassador or a celebrity marketing influencer. Another major benefit of influencer marketing is the return on investment, and which is actually 54% of marketers, according to a study by Blog Lovin, use influencer marketing, with 53% use it to drive more than 47% use to drive traffic to their specific websites. Next slide. So that's pretty much it. If you want to know more about celebrity marketing and integrated marketing communications and digital analytics, you can actually follow the Lyceum University of the Philippines, Manila, and browse through the different classes that we offer for you to offer to that is very much related to your specific interest. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Christopher.
Thank
Kitang-kita
you,
naman.
Susie.
Thank you po. Kitang-kita naman na his topic is very timely and relevant, especially ngayon na ang daming influencers na umusbong during the pandemic. Ngayon, kanina pinakita yung top 10 lists of Filipino influencers. Sabi ko, kung di nyo ako nakita, pang 11 ako. Hindi lang umabot ng top 10, pero alam ko po, sir, kailangan lang i-fit sa PowerPoint. Hindi ako kaya itabi kay Heart, baka matabunan si Heart. So, I totally get it. I totally get it. Pero ngayon po, kung may mga tanong po kayo kay Mr. Christopher mamaya, we will be addressing them in the Q&A portion that will happen in a little while. So mamaya may pa-press con tayo. So ngayon, kids, handa na ba kayo para sa next speaker natin? So tinawag ko kayong kids because our next speaker is a children's program producer. Ang galing ng transition, aminin nyo. Aminin nyo. Besides being a children's program producer, she is also a project manager of the Science Film Festival in the Philippines, and she is the project coordinator of the language department of the German Cultural Center. Ladies, gentlemen, let us all welcome Miss Gracia Panganiban.
Hi, magandang umaga.
Hello po.
Bawal na daw yung magandang umaga, mga bata. Hi, CK. Hi,
Hello po.
Sia.
Hello po.
Hello. I'll be talking about content for kids. No? Hindi siya madalas napapag-usapan. Pero malaking bahagi siya ng ng buhay natin at ng future ng bansa natin, no. So for me, these are the programs or content that matter, aside dun sa iba pang information na napapanood natin excuse me, sa TV. So I'll be talking about TV as a learning environment, no. Miss Mira, our colleague, will be helping me with the PowerPoint. So next slide, please. Yes. So sinasabi, lahat tayo may TV. It is an inescapable part of our modern culture. Lahat tayo may TV. Source yan ng ating entertainment, ng ating news, ng ating weather, sports, music, chismis, lahat yan. So, lalo na tayong mga Pilipino, ang hilig-hilig natin manood ng TV. Pagbukas pa lang, paggising pa lang natin, automatic kahit minsan may ginagawa tayong iba, nanonood tayo ng TV. So, kagaya din ng marami sa inyo, nung bata ako, next slide, please. Sorry. Okay. Naaalala ko nung bata ako, ng mga bata. These are some of the programs na paborito ko na panoorin nung bata ako. Maaaring yung iba dyan ay napapanood nyo pa hanggang ngayon. So, it's a mixture of different programs. Mayroong Sesame Street, yung Pinoy version niyan, yung Batibot. We also have magazine shows like yung 5 and Up. And then we have literature yan, story, yung The Storyteller, meron din yan, Pinoy version, mga kwento ni Lola Basyang. We also have yan, yung mga Justice League, yan, Super Friends, and animation, marami. And then looking back, iniisip ko, bakit ko ba gustong-gustong pinapanood yung mga programs na ito? How did these programs make me feel? Next slide, please. Yeah. So, I feel na kapag nanonood ako ng mga programs na ito, it enriched my knowledge. Natututo ako yung pag-count, yung kulay, yung alphabets, values, yan. And it inspired me to care. Care saan? Care para sa lahat ng bagay at ng tao around me. Care for my family, care for my pets, care for the environment, dun sa mga kaibigan mo. And overall, it made me feel good. Ang saya-saya ko, nakakatawa siya, at gustong-gusto ko siyang pinapanood. Walang dull moment. Kung meron man mga sad episodes, for sure yon, mababawi yon sa end ng program, or basta after watching it, ang saya-saya nung pakiramdam ko na gusto ko nang mag-weekend ulit para mapanood ko siya ulit. Parang ganun, very addicting siya. So, fast forward, nung nag-college ako, I took up mass communication, and then noong college, palagi kaming tinatanong, saan nyo gustong mag-work after, or ano plano nyo? Saan nyo gustong magtrabaho after? And yung usual na nagiging sagot, hindi lang noon, nung time namin, at napapansin ko rin, maski dun sa mga nakakausap ko na mga estudyante ng Com Arts ngayon, usually sinasabi nila na gusto daw nila, gusto ko po, mapunta po ako sa mga programs. Mira, please, next slide, please. Gusto daw nila mapunta sila sa news, or mapunta sila sa sitcom, or mapunta sila sa isang travel show, or sa teleserye. Maraming dahilan. Gusto nilang mag-interview ng mga kilalang tao, gusto nila, nandoon sila sa action, gusto nilang ma-meet ang maraming artista, makatrabaho yung maraming artista. Siyempre, ang sarap-sarap bumiyahe, no? Habang nag-work. At yung sa mga teleserye, ibang klaseng pagkwento din yon. So, nagkataon, after I graduated, natanggap naman ako sa ABS-CBN, pero hindi ako napunta sa mga programs na yung usual namin na iniisip or gusto namin mapuntahan. Napunta ako sa Children's Department. Hindi lang Children's Department, sa pag-produce pa ng educational programs for kids. So sabi ko, naku, parang hindi ko yata to masyadong alam. Pero dahil mahilig ako sa bata, na-excite din naman ako. Next slide, please. Ilan ito dun sa mga programs na nagawa ko in the past. So marami pa yan, pero yan na lang muna yung nilagay ko. Maaring most of your parents, kasi nangyari to nung 90s, no? So most of your parents ay alam ang mga programs na ito. These are all educational programs, at dumami siya dahil din sa success ng mga programs. So hindi siya, because I've also did some projects before na hindi naman pambata, pero ang proud ako dun sa paggawa ng mga programs for kids ay dahil consistently it reminds us to produce content na hindi lang for entertainment, pero may lesson or may information din siya. Gusto ko lang i-run through yung mga programs ito. Well, Sineskwela is a science program. Napaka-successful niya. At dahil sa success niya, nabuo din ang iba pang mga programs gaya ng Bayani. Bayani is a program about heroes, Filipino heroes. And yung iba pa dyan, yung math technique, kasi noong araw, pag sinabi mong math lesson, ay, intimidating, natatakot yung mga bata. Pero may mga studies na nagpapatunay na after nilang mapanood yung mga programs kagaya ng math technique, hindi na sila masyadong nai-intimidate sa pag-aaral ng math. At natutuwa kami na well-received ang mga programs na ito, at lahat sila lahat sila ay multi-awarded. Hindi lang sila recognized dito sa atin sa Philippines, pero ganun din abroad. So yan din yung rason, yun yung history talaga bakit dumami yan. Kasi naging successful yung simula, tapos nag-continue siya na nag-continue. And then, next slide please. As I was saying, medyo nagulo ang pero sorry po. So, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, nasa pagbuo ng programs for kids, dapat balanse ang entertainment at information. Hindi pwedeng puro entertainment at hindi rin naman pwedeng puro information, kasi ang target audience natin ay mga bata na hindi mabilis ang kanilang attention, very short ang kanilang attention span, at kailangan natin silang maenganyong manood from start to finish. At the same time, kailangan natin mag-inject ng values. I remember sa Sineskwela, palagi kaming pinapaalala, Hanan, na oo, dun sa ang objective ng program ay mag-create tayo ng mga bata to inspire more children to aspire to be scientists or to think like scientists. Pero sana yung curiosity nila o yung pag-discover nila ng mga bagay ay yung objective din nila ay may makakatulong para dun sa ibang tao. Hindi yung mapapasama pa or halimbawa, o sige, scientist ka nga, mag-isip or you're curious pero yung curiosity mo naman, mag-iimbento ka naman ng bomb o ng explosives para makasama ka doon sa kapwa mo or gamot para makasama ka doon sa kapwa. Hindi ganon. So, very conscious kami doon. Hindi lang sa sineskwela, pero nadala namin yan sa lahat ng programs na ginagawa namin, na nandoon kailangan yung values. Sa lahat ng ito, yung balance ng entertainment, ng information, ng values, hanggat maaari, nag-evolve na rin kami, yung mga children's program producers, na hanggat maaari, sana hindi halata yung pagtuturo. Kasi lalo na pag yung bata ang tinuturuan, pang school na yan pang ano na yan. So pag nanonood naman ako, ayoko naman yung nararamdaman na parang tinuturuan pa rin ako. So hanggat maaari, yun yung challenge para sa aming lahat na content producers for children, na gawing fun yung pagtuturo. Next slide, please. So, isa din to sa misconception ng marami na pag nakakita sila ng bata sa isang children's program na yon. So, it doesn't follow. Tayong nagiging palabas na maraming bata pero hindi naman siya pambata at all. So, isa yon dun sa siguro sa pag-aaral natin, kung sino man sa inyo yung magpa-pursue ng com arts in the future, mapapag-aralan nyo din yan na yung elements ng isang program for kids or yung mga pambata na palabas, hindi dapat sa perspective tanda. Pambata dapat yung interest din ng mga bata, yung importante. Next slide, please. Okay. Paano ba natin mapipili yung palabas para sa kids natin, no? Ito yung mga pwede. Yung program ba, ina-encourage yung children to ask questions na after nilang manood, yung critical thinking ba nila na ano natin, na touch natin, yung creativity nila, yung imagination nila, na touch ba natin? How does this program represent gender and diversity? Kasi yung mga, lalo na yung mga bata, kung ano yung napapanood nila, akala nila yun na yung buhay. So maganda din na kung empowered tayo na gumawa ng content, gamitin natin yon para to create awareness about gender and diversity. How commercialized is this program? Minsan may mga program sa para extension na lang ng commercial. So ako personally, sa mga paggawa ko ng content, hanggat maaari, lalo na for kids, halimbawa, ayoko na magsusuot yung mga bata ng malalaking, yun ng mga branded clothes. Kasi hanggat maaari, ayoko din naman na kapag nanonood yung mga bata, sasabihin nila doon sa parents nila, gusto ko magpabili ng ganon. Parang, or yun na lang yung parang mas na-emphasize dun sa program. So we don't want that because we want the kids to focus on the information or yung fun doon sa pinapanood nila, hindi yung sa yung commercial na aspect nung toys o kung ano man yan. unless na it's about toys talaga, featuring toys talaga yung content, no? Or featuring yung mga damit talaga na gano'n. Ibang usapan yon. Okay? What are the common themes and topics in this program? Ano ba yung binibigyan ng importansya doon sa programa? Ano ba yung objectives nung programa? Importante yon. And kagaya nga nung sinasabi ko kanina, does it help develop critical thinking about the society and the world? Gusto natin hangga't maaari after naman manood ng mga bata or kahit hindi pa bata yan o kung sino man, in every program that we produce, gusto natin maging kapaki-pakinabang yung panonood nila after na nilang manood. Ano yung use nun para sa sarili niya and yung magiging use nun para sa society. Marami yan, kahit small things, may use at may use yung mga bagay na ipapakita natin, no? And yun nga, what emotional effect will this program have on children? After watching it, siyahan ka ba? Nalungkot ka ba? Na yung saya mo ba ta-translate sa pagiging mabuting tao or pagiging active na player sa society? So, ganon. Next slide, please. Yan. So, para magawa mo yun, what does it take to be a proper producer, content producer, lalo na for kids? Next slide, please. Yan. So, dapat may right attitude. Hindi lang naman kapag ang ginagawa mong content para sa bata. Every content that you will make, dapat you have to have the right education, of course, at yung knowledge. Kaming mga media practitioners, nagkaroon kami ng sapat na kaalaman sa school. When we enrolled in college, kung com arts ka man o kung ano man, maraming tinuturo na theories, technical at practical na bagay na tinuturo, lalo na sa college, kasi yung college nyo, yan yung magiging preparation nyo para dun sa trabaho nyo. So, dyan nyo parang nagiging master kayo dyan. Yung first stage ng pagiging master nyo dun sa craft, dyan nagsa-start. So, you have to have the right education and knowledge para magawa mo ng tama yung trabaho mo. Plus all the other things, you have to be professional all the time, you have to be a leader, and of course, you have to be fun. Kasi hindi ka lang magiging in charge sa pag-produce ng quality content. Pambata man yan o hindi, no? But you are also in charge of creating a good working environment para sa lahat. Hindi naman po pwede na hindi ka, nagsusungit ka in front of the children na katrabaho mo, or hindi magiging fun yun, or hanggat maaari, maging harmonious yung environment because of you, diba? Next slide, please. Yeah. These are some of the photos that I'd like to share with you. Hindi man ako napunta dun sa news department o dun sa teleserye o dun sa travel show, but I was also fortunate to experience lahat din nung posibleng na-experience ng mga nagtatrabaho dun sa news, sa teleserye, sa sitcom at kung saan man, no? So, these are just some of the photos. Noong panahon namin, hindi naman kami mahilig mag-picture. So, ilan lang ito. So, halimbawa, I made a project wherein I was able to interview the DepEd Secretary, Leonor Briones, at iba pang, even I had a chance to do a project wherein we interviewed President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So, yung nasa gitna na picture, that was me, taken in Aurora Province with Atom Araulio and the producer of 5 and Up. So, kaya ako sinama yung picture na yun kasi yung 5 and Up, pinapanood ko siya nung bata ako eh. So, imagine mo yung tuwa ko nung nakatrabaho ko sila mismo. Hindi lang sila, pati yung mga taga-Batibot at iba pang mga programs na pinoproduce dito sa Philippines, nakatrabaho ko sila. So, medyo starstruck ako. In fact, imagine, pinapanood ko dati yung program sila and ngayon katrabaho ko sila. So, ang saya-saya nung pakiramdam. I also had a chance to work with a lot of celebrities kahit hindi ako sa teleserye or hindi ako sa sitcom or hindi ako sa variety show. May mga bata and usually halos lahat yata ng mga bata na lumaki na ngayon, nakatrabaho ko sila. So, kung meron mga nakakilala sa inyo, yung mga taga-Going Bulilit na bata, halos lahat yun nakatrabaho namin. Even the likes of sila Carlo Aquino, nung mga bata pa yan. And we have a very good relationship with them hanggang ngayon. Kasi parang kasabay namin silang lumaki. Okay, next slide please. Ilan ito dun sa mga photos, studio shoot. Siyempre, given na we have to be creative and kailangan natin na mas makulay at mas playful para dun sa kids at mas maengganyo sila na manood. So, we did a lot of studio shoot sa tagal sa iba't ibang projects, no? Next slide, please. And marami ring pagkakataon that we were invited abroad to teach and to collab with other very successful and very known content producers abroad, no? That's me. Yun sa gitna, I attended a festival in Munich, Germany, wherein I was one of the projects I did was chosen as finalist. It's like the Oscar Awards of children show. So we were very lucky. We did not win, but being a finalist is something already. So yung ibang mga photos, kasama yung sa baba, yan ang pinakapipitagang mga children's producers sa Asia. And then yung iba ay sa Europe. So yan. Next slide please. And naalala ko nung nag-pandemic, dahil walang pasok yung mga bata, nagkaroon ng parang clamor, sana daw ibalik yung mga programs na educational programs sa ABS, no? So pinagbigyan naman nila, nag-ere sila and nag-trending yon sa Twitter. So ilan ito dun sa mga nabasa namin na nakakatuwa. So parang in a way, validation ito na we made a difference din dun sa buhay ng mga bata na nanood sa mga programs na produce namin before, no? Nakakatuwa. Hindi lang ito yung mga testimonials. We also did a lot of studies in the past na to officialize and to validate na talagang nag-manifest dun sa pag-aaral ng mga bata at yung behavior nila, yung mga programs na nagawa namin before. So sa tingin ko, maganda na in the future, pag yung mga bata na, yung mga estudyante na mag-enroll sa ComArts or parang don't lose hope kung halimbawa hindi kayo mapunta sa mga gusto nyo. Maraming opportunities ang naghihintay sa inyo. Kung mag-aral kayo ng ng sa arts and sciences, no? So at matututunan nyo yan lahat sa college nyo. Ituturo yan step by step at maiintindihan nyo kung ano pa yung malawak yung media at maraming opportunities para sa inyo dun sa ganitong content production, no. Thank you.
Ayun na po. Thank you po, ma'am. Thank you po, Miss Gracia. Okay. So, thank you so much, Miss Gracia. Again, salamat po sa pag-talk niyo po. Isang grasya po na nandito po kayo ngayon. And if may tanong po kayo sa kanya or kay Sir Christian or for our speaker later on, pwede nyo na po simulang isend para ma-compile. So kung nasa Zoom po kayo, just chat it here and make sure na it is addressed to all panelists. And then kung nasa FB Live po kayo, you can start commenting already. Okay. So, baka naman po may tanong din po kayo sa akin. Pwede naman din po, di ba? Baka may gusto magtanong ng relationship status ko. We're gonna get into it. Okay, so, doon naman po sa talk ni Miss Gracia kanina, you were talking about children's shows. And isa sa favorite shows ko po talaga ay yung Dora the Explorer. Di ba? Kasi I can totally relate. Bakit po nakakatawa? I think it's not appropriate for me. Kasi feeling ko sa pareho po kami ng hair. And also, nakaka-relate po kay Dora kasi si Swiper, lagi po siya inaagawan. And parang lagi po akong inaagawan in life.
Ay, may hugot
Yes.
ka, CK.
Oh, yes. And I'm also thankful po na about sa pagkakaagaw, I'm also really thankful po doon sa fact na na-share niyo po yung tungkol sa pagka-nominate po ng children's show niyo sa equivalent ng Oscars for children's shows. Kasi speaking of naaagawan, lagi po ako naaagawan ng washing machine sa mga raffle. Parang hindi po ako nananalo. So being nominated po talaga is an honor. I think ang amazing niya po. And speaking of Dora the Explorer, akala niyo bring up ko lang yun randomly. Well, aside from lagi inaagawan tulad ko, si Dora the Explorer mahilig din mag-travel. And ang next speaker natin is a travel and lifestyle writer. Ang galing ko doon, na-connect ko yung di nyo in-expect. You're asking, di nyo in-expect. She was the former managing editor of Travel Life and former associate editor of Metro Style. Everyone, let's welcome our next speaker for today, Miss Sia. Matching kami ng polo. Go ahead, Miss Sia.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I love your transition, CK, I have to say. It's a very smooth transition into exploring. Okay, so for those who started the program with us, my apologies for the delay. It's just like when you're waiting for your flight, tas merong konting delay sa boarding. So parang ganyan lang yan. Okay, meron lang technical issues before we start boarding. So before I begin, I just want to say good morning to everyone. It's not such a bright and sunny day right now, but I hope that everyone will be having a good day and that at least while I take you on my presentation, you'll feel like you're also going on a little trip yourselves, no? Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay. All right. Can everyone already see the presentation? Not yet.
Yes, I can see it.
There. Okay. So today we'll be talking about traveling. Okay, so I will be revealing the truth about travel journalism. All right. Can everyone see it? Is it pretty clear naman? Okay. So I hope that even while we're all on lockdown right now, you'll be able to go on a little trip and feel like we're outdoors, no, somehow. So just to give you a brief background, I've been I've been a writer and editor for about 20 years now. So 20 years in media and publishing. I was the former. Ay, bakit hindi lumalabas ang screen natin? Let me see, ha? Can everyone see it ba? So I was the former there. Okay, so I was a former section editor actually for travel for Metro.style, and may lag ba tayo? And I was also the former managing editor of Metro magazine and the former managing editor of Travel Life magazine. I was with Travel Life for about 5 years. Okay. So the next slide would show you parang may lag lang tayo. Okay, the next slide will show you Matsume Castle in Hakodate in Japan. So this place, actually, if you can look at the photo, it was on my Pinterest account. No, it was on my Pinterest account, and I pinned it back in 2013. When I just saw this castle, I liked it. There were cherry blossoms, and I said I wanted to go there. Fast forward to 2018, in the spring of 2018, when I was able to go there myself, no? So for me, it's a fitting example of how sometimes when your heart desires something, the universe will conspire, no, to give it to you. So for those who are familiar with Paulo Coelho, so dun niya sinabi yan sa book niya, no, The Alchemist. So I was able to see this castle for myself, and I'd want to leave that as something for you to think about. If you really want something, sometimes the universe will just give it to you, and you just have to work a little bit hard to get to it. So what is travel and lifestyle journalism? So first and foremost, we have to really know what it's about before we get into the gist of it. So I got this quote from one of the published studies of Rachel Teed. Travel journalists today must go beyond writing reviews of festivals, museums, or hotels. They must explain what each of these things means to a culture. Travel writing is aimed towards tourists, while travel journalism is for those who want to fully experience and understand other cultures. So let's do a little expectation versus reality. I'm sure we've all seen this on social media, yung mga expectation versus reality. So I hope that by doing this, we'll be able to compare, no, to see ano ba yung travel journalism na yan. Baka sobrang, they have all these grand ideas about it. But what's the reality with it? Okay, so first, expectation. It's glamorous. So, pinisip natin, pag nakita mo yung mga travel vloggers, parang ang gaganda lagi na pinupuntahan nila. Tapos yung mga photos sila, parang gusto kong gawin yan, na-encourage tayo. So, this photo was taken from the peninsula in Shanghai, which was newly opened back in 2017, I believe. And we were one of the first groups to see it when we had a little media tour in Shanghai. So going back, sometimes travel writing or being a travel writer or journalist it's a little glamorous when you think about it, especially when you get a room at the Ritz-Carlton, which gives you all these like cute little suites, or when you get taken on a ride to see the bird's eye view of Dubai through via a seaplane like this one. It can be pretty fabulous, true, okay? And this photo was taken in, I think, in one of the spots in the desert of Dubai for a cover shoot. So I was there with my team to do this photo shoot. And in fact, I got to try some of the things that Dubai had to offer. So go on a camel ride, for instance, or go on a cruise or a yacht while traversing the what do you call this? The waterways around Dubai. So that was pretty fascinating. And it feels like it is a glamorous job, but it's a lot of hard work. As you can see here, I look a little harassed because it was the end of a shoot day for a cover. So yung bags sa dala ko, all of those are the things that we needed for the photo shoot. And this was already, I believe, past 11 in the evening when we were on our way back to the hotel. So medyo pagod na at haggard na yung itsura ko dyan. Now, this one was taken in Saipan, where we had to do a photo shoot. If you can see the photo on the left, that was where we had a cover shoot, no? And we had to trek. We had to trek to go down to that spot for half a day. And then it was very tiring. If I believe it was called the Forbidden Island. Very exhausting trek, but we had a really good cover shoot right there. And this is my team with me who did the trek to go down and back up for that day. But it was a lot of fun, I must say. Sometimes when you travel and when you have to write about your travels, there's a lot of waiting in airports that you have to do. Or you have to take red-eye flights, which can be very taxing and very exhausting. And sometimes you have to sleep at the airport while you're holding on to your bags and protecting your your personal belongings, no? So this is my favorite travel companion while we slept at the airport and she's holding on to our bags. Now, expectation number 2, it's the road to fame and fortune. If you look at the covers of Travel Life magazine, which is where I was a managing editor for quite a while, the photos look fabulous. There's Boracay, with Pamela Baranda. We had a photo shoot in Cebu at Crimson Hotel with a well-known Cebu local and designer. And we went to Istanbul for a cover shoot as well, or even this one in Dubai with a model. So you can be famous if you think about it, but you also have to have already an established career if you want to be on the cover of a travel magazine, just like Travel Life, no? But the travel writer or journalist has to work behind the scenes. So the first photo here, I don't know if you can see me there, we are looking for a spot for our cover shoot with our model, and we were scouting the area, no? So we had to go around, look for the perfect spot. And while we're doing that, we're also getting to know the culture, the people, and seeing what Istanbul had to offer for us. Now, in the photo at the corner there, in the hotel room, we were preparing the clothes for a cover shoot. So I was also not just the writer, not just the editor, and not just the shoot producer. I was also the stylist. No? So you have to multitask as well. So it's a lot of hard work. Now, the photo below was at the golf course in Saipan. And the bag I was carrying, as usual, marami kong dala, is really because I brought all the clothes for our photo shoot. And I had to help our model change into her get-up. Now, third expectation is that it's easy. So when you look at photos like this, which I post on social media, you think, wow, sarap ng buhay ni Sia, diba? I get to just read at the beach or, relax. But not really, because easy is different from fun, okay? Things can be fun, but it doesn't mean that it was easy to get there. So you put in a lot of work, you put in a lot of effort also, but you can also have fun at the same time. So as you can see, these are some of the fun things to get to do if you travel and you write about your trips. So you can go on a safari, or you can go fruit picking, in Japan, or you can just go kayaking in Palawan, in El Nido. So it's a lot of fun, but before I got to all of those, I also had to work, I had to write about these places and make sure that I had a story that I could come up with, for the magazines. And then there's the occasional buwis buhay moments.
That was a charge.
So there, that was during a safari in one of our trips in South Africa, where an elephant was charging at us while we were exploring we were on a game drive. So merong moments na ganyan. And of course, that will be imprinted in your mind. And that's really an anecdote you can share with your readers, or even, even if you want to produce maybe a video with your audience. Now, what does it take to be a travel and lifestyle journalist? You have to be genuinely curious about people, places, and cultures. Now, this is from my favorite room in the city, which is the cheese room of Spiral in Sofitel. This guy is actually a well-known fromager from okay, sorry, cheese artisan. Ayan, huwag na natin attempt yung French word. But he came to the Philippines to showcase the cheeses, that he knows well about from France. And met him there. He had a little talk. Enjoyed talking to him. Asked about his career. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was in his 80s around this time already, and he was still practicing his craft of being a cheese expert. Now, the photo at the topmost was taken in South Africa. The lady that we were with during our trip, she owned this house where it was actually a house transformed into a restaurant. And she introduced us to traditional South African cuisine. And she talked about the history of South African people in particular, and gave us a glimpse into how their lives are in South Africa. Now, the photo beside that, if you see the guy there, he's actually a poet who sat on a bench in Hyde Park in Australia. And we were napping at the bench across from him. And we just noticed that he was there. And he would put up a sign once in a while selling his poetry for, I can't remember how much it was, but he would be selling his poetry. People would be passing by. And it was just very fascinating to sit across him. He would be writing in his notebook, most likely writing poetry that he would be selling to people who would be interested to buy it. Now, bottom left photo, this was in Melbourne. We were passing, we were near the prawn market, and this guy was giving a free taste of donuts. So, syempre, gwapo siya. So, nilapitan ko, kinausap ko, and I tried his donuts. I didn't buy, but I tried it. And it's just interesting to chat up people like that, yung mga, the locals who are selling in the local markets. Just like the guy on the bottom right photo, who is Greg, he owns this stall that sells mushrooms. And he talked to me I asked him about the mushrooms, and I told him, I'm not familiar with a lot of these mushrooms. You don't have these back in Manila. So he was very happy to share what he knew about the different kinds of mushrooms they're selling. He's been selling mushrooms, I think, at the prawn market for a very long time. So it was interesting to know a little bit about. It's a little geeky to talk about mushrooms with him, but it was, I love food, so I was very fascinated in my little chat with him. Okay. You also have to be genuinely curious about the places, that you might be visiting when you travel. And this could be a very good story to tell as well. So this was the first photo was taken in Barcelona, at the Sagrada Familia. One of the, I think it's a memorable trip for me, because just to stand in the middle of Sagrada Familia with the light streaming down on you, and being inside this amazing creation, it's actually hard to believe what it actually is. Now, when you're there, you see photos of it, it seems very grand, but when you're there, to be up close and personal with such architecture is short of amazing. And then the next photo was in Myanmar. One of the places I never thought I'd go to, but we were there. We stayed in some of the temples there, waited for dusk to get the perfect photo. But just to see people coming in, not a lot of tourists, mostly locals. It was just nice to be in the presence of another kind of spirituality. And the last photo was taken from Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, which has a very interesting history because the structure has been used as a place of worship for Christians and also for Muslims. So very, very interesting background for this place. This is the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul. So a lot of people like to shop. No? I like to window shop. So this is one of the places best places to go to in Istanbul, because you see a lot of all these different things being sold now by local artisans. So very colorful. It's a multi-sensory experience when you go to markets. Now, it's one of the places I would recommend anyone who likes to travel to go first. Now, the markets. And finally, this is the Parthenon in Acropolis in Athens. It was in my bucket list, one of the places I really wanted to go to and to be able to see it in person. I think this is the best part about traveling, when we experience awe because of being in the presence of something that's parang so far off, no, when you think about it. It gives you an insight about a certain place, about history, and even about yourself. Okay, so you have to be curious about cultures. Now, so like I said, so if it means having to taste the food or experience a market, I think it's important to do that. See, to show you this one, it's actually a street vendor in Istanbul who's selling kokoreç, which is lamb intestine stuffed with different kinds of meat, not from the lamb as well. They roast it and they make it into a sandwich. Very cheap food, but very delicious. It might surprise, but it's not so exotic for us Filipinos because we eat a lot of interesting food. But for them, this is really considered a delicacy. So it's interesting when locals see Filipinos trying their food, especially this one. Feeling nila unusual for us, but it's not really. We love it. Okay. And of course, don't forget local culture. You don't have to go out of the country to experience something amazing. So for instance, this one was in Kalibo during Ati-Atihan. So next, you also have to be adventurous and game. Okay? So kailangan hindi pwede yung maarte dyan eh. So kailangan game ka lagi for whatever your trip, no, will bring you to, will take you to. So this was skydiving in Australia. That's me skydiving in Australia. Now in Sapporo, when we had a shoot there for work, for one of our covers for Travel Life, I was asked to carry this. I think it's a king crab, no? So buhay pa yan nung binuhat ko. So kailangan game ka, hindi ka pwede matakot. And this one, I'll let you see for yourself. So this was in Hakodate, and that destination, that place is known for their squid. No? So that's where you get the best squid in Japan. In fact, the squid pa nga, you can try to fish for it or catch it yourself. So I hope you pay attention to the squid head on the side. So it's not cooked, you eat it raw. So it's like sushi, sashimi. Yan. So buhay pa siya, gumagalaw siya. And you eat it that way. You just put a little soy sauce. You eat it while it's still moving a little bit. So hindi pwede maarte. Buti na lang game ako to try any kind of food. So kahit gumagalaw pa yan, I would eat it. I ate it actually. So there. Now, the photo on the left, where I'm wearing the snorkeling gear, I was with Ali. He was the one who took us to snorkeling na in Maldives. Alam niya hindi ako mag-swim, but because I was there and I wanted to see for myself na what it was like, he was very helpful in guiding me. Actually, hawak-hawak niya ako the whole time we were snorkeling kasi takot na takot ako sa tubig. So even if I'm terrified of the water, si Ali made me feel comfortable, no, while we were snorkeling. So I got to see the undersea world of Maldives. Now the photo at the upper right, no, was during one of our trips to Punta Fuego, I think, or somewhere in Batangas, where we had to try the sports, no, water sports. And like I said, takot ako sa tubig, but we had to go on this ride just to be able to write about it. Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. And finally, the bottom photo was during our shoot in Saipan, where we had a chance to go parasailing. So wala akong takot sa heights, obviously, but takot ako sa tubig. So this was actually a very relaxing experience, na yung parasailing. Next, you have to be generous. What do I mean by generous? Hindi yung mamimigay ka ng stuff, no? Hindi yung mag-uwi ka ng pasalubong at mamimigay ka ng pasalubong. But you have to be generous with your readers or your audience. When you travel and you have to write about your travels, whether you're a travel writer who would write about museums or restaurants or sites to see or hotels, no? Even if it's a review, you have to be able to share your experience and finds with your audience. That's your purpose, no, as a writer, to reveal new things to your readers. So for instance, the photo at the top is actually a restaurant in Athens. It's Di Portos, it's a taverna. Hindi mo siya mapapansin kung hindi mo alam na nandun siya. It's been around since the 1880s. And through the help of Google, we were able to find a good place, and this was recommended by some of the travel blogs. So we went there ourselves to try the food. Pag tinignan niyo yung spread, parang simple lang siya. Chickpea soup lang yan, tsaka white bean soup. Tapos grilled fish, no? Yung bread, they just bake it there also. Plain crusty bread yan. Pero ang sarap niya sobra. So yung may-ari ng restaurant sa baba, that's the guy who actually runs the restaurant now. And wala siyang alam na English. Pero we were able to order from him kasi magaling siya mag-sign language. So naintindihan niya. Tuturo lang niya kung ano yung kakainin. So ikaw, papakita niya yung pagkain sa'yo, tuturo mo lang ano yung gusto mong i-try. That meal was so amazing for us that back home, we also make it, no? We look for the recipe kasi ano siya eh, parang local homemade food lang siya. Parang ordinaryong pagkain yan sa kanila. Pero sobrang yung sarap. And every time we make it, it feels like we are transported back to that morning in Athens. You want to have to tell a story. If you're a travel writer, kailangan you have that desire, no, to tell a story and to share it with readers or with an audience. Now, here's a photo that I have an interesting story about because this was taken in Tsukiji Market in Tokyo. Bakit siya interesting for me? It's not just because I love Japanese food or even sushi for that matter, but the story behind it is that we had to wake up at 2:30 in the morning because we had to line up at Sushi Dai, which is one of the popular sushi places at Tsukiji Market. Gigising ka ng ganun kaaga, tapos pipila ka. Alam ko, as Filipinos, we're used to lining up. But for this one, yung kasama ko, yung favorite travel companion ko, hindi siya kumakain ng sushi. Pero sinamahan niya ako that early because alam niya gusto kong i-try yung food. No? So, madilim pa, nilakad namin to go to the market. Nagpumila kami and we were parang number 14 or number 15 dun sa pila. But since maliit lang yung sushi place, I think it can only seat up to 12 people at a time. Second batch na kami nang pwedeng kumain, no? So ganun ka-intimate yung sushi place na to na nakikipagkwentuhan yung mga gumagawa ng sushi with you, even if they don't speak English that well. And you just really have to sit there and watch them prepare, no, in front of you kung ano yung fresh catch ng sushi, tapos you get to try it. So imagine gigising ka ng ganyang kaaga para kumain. But it was so worth it, I have to say. Okay. Now, as a travel writer or travel journalist, you need to have an open mind. Bakit? Well, of course, because hindi mo alam ano yung mangyari sa'yo when you're traveling, di ba? So kapag medyo set ka na doon sa iniisip mo or sa impressions mo, hindi ka receptive kung merong bagong mangyayari sa'yo. So like for instance, we all see photos of Santorini, no? Sa mga travel sites or even on Instagram, maybe sa mga social media sites. And it's an amazing place and it's beautiful. But in reality, ganyan yung makikita nyo sa lugar na yan. Ang daming tourists. Sobrang daming tao na minsan ang hirap kumilos kasi they're all trying to take photos of some spots, no, na popular sa social media. So, ganyang kadami yan. So, didiskarte ka kung paano mo kukunan ng picture yan. So, this is just one of the spots in Santorini na ganyan. May ibang spots doon na pag sunset, mas marami pang tao. So, you can imagine what it looks like on social media. Nakala mo wala kang kasama doon. Pero ang totoo, punong-puno ng tao yung lugar na yun. No? So, hindi ka pwede maging maarte. So, kung kailangan makipagsikuhan ka doon para makakuha ka ng perfect spot mo for your photo, you're gonna do it because you want to take that photo. Okay. But being a travel writer or journalist is not just about taking perfect photos. Okay. You have to have practical skills, no, if you want to be a travel and lifestyle journalist. So what are those? Number one, you need to learn to write well. Okay, bakit? Because you're going to be telling stories. So you have to be able to express yourself well for your audience, no, to be interested and engaged in your story. Next, you have to ask the right questions. So you have to talk to people around you, the locals. You have to ask about people who've been there. You have to ask people you meet, no, while you're traveling, and you have to get to know about the culture and the place and its history even. You also need to learn to be an excellent researcher. You can't go to a place nang wala kang alam. Mahirap yun. Mawawala ka, and you can't always rely on Google Maps or even an actual printed map to know your way around. You have to know where's the best place to go. Ano yung sites? Madaling mag-Google, yes. Madaling maghanap ng mga popular sites. But you have to be innovative in looking for like the more interesting spots na hindi na commonly nakikita ng mga tao. And you have to go there yourself to see for yourself what it's like. And while you're there, you have to be an astute observer. Okay, hindi pwedeng titingin ka lang, picture ka lang, no? You have to observe the little things happening around. How are the locals? How do the locals live? Anong oras nagsisimula mabuhay yung city? Saan sila nagpupunta? Anong kinakain nila? Ano yung tinitignan nila? Ano yung buhay ng locals doon? Because as much as it's fun to be a tourist, it's much better to be a traveler. And most importantly, you need to enroll in a good course that will develop your talents and further hone your communication skills. Okay, so yan ang pinaka-important if you want to be a travel writer, a travel journalist. You have to be able to speak well, write well, and train yourself to be analytic, no, in your thinking para you're able to create stories that are interesting for people to read, or if you're going to be a content creator, for people to watch. Okay, and what best place to look for a good course, no? So there's LPU where you can go and learn and develop all these skills. So there. Now, right before I end my presentation, I want to share with you these two sentences, these 4 words that I follow. This is like my travel philosophy. Always, always eat well and travel often. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Sia, for putting us on a high note. Yes. You transported us to another realm. Okay.
Thank you, CK.
Yes.
I
By
hope
the
everyone
way,
enjoyed that.
By the way, disclaimer lang po, yung photos po at videos po ni Miss Sia ay taken before the pandemic. Kaya baka
Yes.
may taga-COVID task force, huwag niyo po kami singilin ng 1.5. Safe po kami dito sa bahay. We're just chilling in our loungewear. Yun ang social na version ng pantulog, loungewear.
Loungewear, yes.
Kapag sinabi ng nanay mo, huwag ka lalabas ng bahay na nakapantulog, Mom, it's not pantulog, it's loungewear. Okay. At kahit pinag-uusapan natin ang pantulog, please, huwag kayo matulog because we're not done yet. For those who have questions, you can send them in now. Ipapress con tayo mamaya, kaya stay tuned, huwag kayong mahihiya. Okay? Baka kapag sinend niyo yung tanong nyo, gusto niya rin isama yung name nyo, course nyo, and then yung relationship status kasi malapit mag-Valentine's Day, bukas na, baka mahanap kayo sa audience, di tayo sure. I-market nyo na sarili nyo kasi kanina pinag-uusapan natin ng marketing. Now, kung need nyo pa ng time mag-isip ng questions, this is the perfect time because meron tayong commercial break. And as a commercial, we have a special video presentation for all of you. Grabe, ako personally, hindi ko pa alam kung ano to. Baka may magpo-propose sa akin. Hindi ako sure. Kinikilig naman ako. Okay, sige. Sabay natin malalaman yan. Let's all watch this.
Araw-araw, milyong-milyong Pilipino ang nag-iipon ng barya sa kani-kanilang tahanan. Ngunit, lingid sa ating kaalaman, ito ay may malaking epekto sa sirkulasyon ng pera sa ating ekonomiya.
Ma, gan, dang, u, ma, ga. Magandang umaga.
Magandang umaga.
Yan, ang galing mo, Nay. Ito naman, Nay.
Hi. Are we back on, Mira?
Hi, Ma'am Becky. We're on.
Hi.
We're live po.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright. I think,
So,
yes, Ma'am Becky, I think at this point, we will now entertain yung questions natin for our dear
Yes.
speakers.
Yes.
Right? And then kanina, you have comments, ma'am, no, with our speakers today. Kamusta ba? Kamusta ang ating talk lineup this morning, ma'am?
Well, syempre, I don't want to sound so hard sell, no? But I'm very proud of what was presented today, no? So, thank you sa mga speakers natin. And I hope, no, our audience here is able to pick up a lot of things, a lot of new knowledge, or maybe, new interests are picked on them with our three speakers. So, yeah. CK, are you ready with the questions?
Correct, ma'am. I think let's welcome once again our dear speakers this morning, Mr. Christopher Canadela, Ms. Grace Panganiban, and Ms. Sia Ilagan, to join us here for our question and answer. Thank you, ma'am and sir, for your time, especially this morning na talaga naman ang daming nangyari sa atin this morning. I think habang nagla-log in pa rin si CK, we will now entertain yung mga questions din natin that we prepared, and also our audience asked on our online here via our Facebook Live and also, of course, our Zoom application. Let's go on.
Okay.
Sige, ma'am.
Yeah. JR, I'd like to start, no?
Go ahead.
Because it's been, we've been in this pandemic ever since last year, and things are getting better, but until there's vaccines, then people are not absolutely safe. So I would like to know from our speakers, what are significant changes that are going to happen in the way we do things for, let's say, brand marketing, children's show production, and travel journalism? Yun. So ano yung mga adjustments that we're gonna be doing for the new normal?
Hi everyone. So I'd like to start. So just to address some inquiries of Ms. Becky. Definitely will in terms of brand marketing, we'll still be experiencing the new normal of doing things, communicating via different channels, via different platforms. And in terms of brand communications and creating awareness for different companies and for different brands, definitely a lot of automations will be happening and a lot of digital collaborations and use of different digital channels to ensure that the target audience of the companies are still being engaged with, of course, providing the same benefits and creating some innovative ways in terms of engaging with their clients. We've seen some of the things that is happening. For example, in the quick service restaurants, a lot of park and get or park and go, and a lot of brands are now innovating. A lot of brick and mortar locations right now are changing their ways of meeting with their clients via the safety precautions of the IA. So I think mostly it's all about staying in touch with the customers, but at the same time being safe and keeping everyone secure in this challenging. That's my thoughts in terms of how everything will be happening.
Thank you, Sir Chris.
Yes, Miss Becky. For the children's programs, medyo tricky siya kasi bawal yung mga bata eh. At the same time, since halos online lahat yung schooling ngayon, yung demand then for educational programs and ICT materials, sobra din kailangan. So, the challenge really is to develop a lot of materials na i-offer for the schools na mostly pambata. Ang laki ng demand sa educational materials for kids. At hindi lang pambata, maski for college students, ang daming kailangan. So, isa yon dun sa, at least dun sa mga kakilala ko na content producers, isa yan sa parang boom ngayon na ginagawa ng mga content producers. More on educational programs or educational content na yung DepEd, malaki yung kailangan nila for that. Plus, hindi naman po pwedeng adults yung nakikita tapos pambata yung content, no? So, like yung mga colleagues ko sa ABS, they still do the YAY program and sa Knowledge Channel. Workshop sila nung parents, nung bata, at saka yung mga bata mismo. So nagse-set up, natututo yung parents at saka yung mga bata mismo ng pag produce ng sarili nilang home videos. tapos yun yung bino-broadcast nila dun sa as content, no. Siguro hindi kasing polido no or broadcast quality kagaya nung dati, pero dahil din dun sa sitwasyon, okay din yung mga napoproduce na itatawid at na itatawid ng maganda. So yun yung nakikita ko na parang kabisihan ngayon nung mga content producers. Marami na nagagawa ngayon for educational materials, no, for online. Plus for festivals naman, film festivals and other content like for the Science Film Festival, we did it virtually for the first time last year at hindi din namin in-expect kasi ang iniisip namin konti yung may access sa internet, yung internet speed natin problematic, but fortunately ang daming naging participants ng virtual Science Film Festival. So at dahil doon at dahil sa sitwasyon pa rin natin ngayon, virtual pa rin yung magiging festival. Plus I received a lot of inquiries dahil naging successful siya. Like yung FDCP, they reached out to me and nagiging isa ang Science Film Festival dun sa basihan nila kung paano i-develop yung mga ibang film festivals dito sa atin. So yun yung for the content naman.
Okay, right now, so for travel naman, for travel journalism naman, I know that we're not allowed to go out. No? We all know we're not allowed to go out pa talaga. And even if we are allowed to travel locally, no, for most of us, it's still not safe to do that. No, it's still not safe to do that. But I think right now, because the travel industry is the one that's one of the badly hit industries because of the pandemic, it's important for us to focus on local travel at the moment. Maybe not physically travel. Personally, I really don't think it's safe to do that. But it doesn't mean we can't help the local travel industry through our writing, no, or through content production. So I think there will still be a demand for content on travel, whether it's video, whether it's the written work, no, because we can still talk about the local places where people should be going to. I think it's important to highlight that so that when it's safe to travel once again, people won't forget where they should go. Tsaka matutulong natin yung businesses pa rin, yung mga nasa travel and tourism industry to be able to sustain, diba, awareness of these places. So for instance, hindi mo kailangang pumunta sa Boracay para lang ma-promote siya. If you've been there, if you remember your trips there, you can still write about it. Yun yung importante doon. You don't have to even go far. You can talk about Intramuros, for instance, the places that you can go to within the city. There are a lot of places that you can drive to. And maybe we shouldn't be just focusing on places that are indoors or yung mga lugar na parang enclosed, diba? Maraming outdoor places sa Pilipinas. Ang gaganda. Maraming unexplored places pa that we can talk about. I think it's important na hindi tayo maging madamot sa alam natin about these places kasi kailangan nila ng tulong locally, no, yung mga local destinations na ganyan. I've read some parang studies on the past global issues na naging challenge for the travel and tourism industry. The truth is, nakaka-revive siya eh. No, it's one of the industries that can revive, but we don't know kasi revive itself, no, but we don't know kasi now how fast it's going to be. So let's focus on local muna, domestic travel, local trips, which is still easier and more accessible for us. So hindi natin kailangang pumunta sa labas para lang ma-explore yan. Marami tayo dito on our own. So hopefully we can focus on that and help also our local industries. There.
All right, thank you, Miss Sia, Sir Christopher, and Miss Grace. You know what, Ma'am Becky, no? Kung merong one word na highlight ako for this morning, nandun yun dun sa ating topic talaga eh. It is explore. Kasi it's not just with travel journalism, but exploring the opportunities on these certain topics and different opportunities that we have. Dahil lalo na before this pandemic, we are confined with the ideas of the broadcasting only in TV or in journalism only in paper, di ba? And etc. under the programs of our College of Arts and Sciences. But this time, talagang lumawak. We have to explore the opportunities that we have. Miss
Yes.
Becky.
Yeah, correct. No, so the world, our lives will continue. And syempre pati pag-aaral tuloy lang, 'di ba? Kasi
Correct,
narinig
ma'am.
natin sa speakers na um there are there was disruption, yes, but we are addressing it, 'di ba? The world is addressing it. So may mga changes na nagaganap, whether it be in marketing, communications, in broadcasting, or in journalism. So yes, tuloy ang buhay. So may tanong pa tayo, JR? I think we have one question kanina.
Yes, ma'am. We have here in our chat box to Ma'am Grace Panganiban. This is from Edward. I'm always fascinated by doing arts and to teach children doing with my arts. What can you advise people like me and those graduating students who would like to do educational materials who also needs to earn money?
Thank you. Alam nyo, as I said, in demand ngayon yung mga ICT materials and educational materials for online. So, isa, kulang na kulang tayo sa mga workshops and trainings, teaching other people or even kids no about arts. So magandang ituro 'yon, magkaroon ng online platform para educational program or teaching about arts, or you can also share your skills to those producers who would lead young graphics artists or illustrators for the programs that they produce or the content that they are producing, kasi kailangan yon visual content, kailangan yon, so maraming opportunities actually. Sorry, yung
Thank you, Miss Grace. Yeah.
Miss Becky, if I may add, marami sa estudyante ngayon, naririnig ko lang din doon sa mga kwento ng mga pamangkin ko, yung parang ang dami nilang projects or ang dami nilang mga kailangan na that would require them to use Adobe or yung skill nila sa art, sobrang kailangan. So maganda rin na naituturo talaga sa kanila ng tama kung paano gawin yun. Hindi lang yung parang yung technical, dapat yung essence ng paggamit nung mga materials na yun, dapat maituro din sa kanila talaga ng tama.
Okay. Correct, no? At nasabi mo na rin naman, Miss Grace, no, na dapat ituro ng tama. And of course, modesty aside, here in LPU with the College of Arts and Sciences and the Broadcasting, Journalism, Communication, and Multimedia Arts programs, itinuturo natin hindi lamang ng tama, ngunit meron pang pagkalinga. Di ba? Sabi nga natin, we teach with care. Right? So yes, JR.
All right. Miss Becky, before we end our presentation this morning, syempre invite ko na rin yung ating mga viewers and of course our future Lyceans here in our university, the Lyceum of the Philippines University, Manila. So guys, if you are wondering kung kamusta ba ang ating pag-aaral, the way of learning in LPU during this pandemic, we have this My LPU Leads the Learning Experience through alternative delivery systems, kung saan ito ang ginagamit natin as our main tool para magpatuloy yung ating pag-aaral, ang ating learning dito sa LPU. So the My LPU Leads is an innovative and flexible system that combines various delivery modes for synchronous and asynchronous teaching and learning using the My LPU e-learning portal as the main learning platform. So dito natin ginagawa ang ating mga class, presentations, reporting. Dito rin nagsasubmit ng mga projects or exams ang ating mga students. At dito rin ang main interaction ng ating mga professors. So guys, dito rin ang ating main tool kung kayo ay mag-enroll naman dito sa atin, sa LPU. Moving forward, guys, we have no tuition fee increase for the first semester of academic year 2021 to 2022. And of course, there's no entrance test for the first semester as well. So guys, diretso na tayo sa pag-submit ng ating mga requirements pag nag-open na ang ating enrollment on April 15. But since ng ating enrollment will be open on April 15, that's the start of our early enrollment. Our enrollment reservation is ongoing. Please log on to this link or visit our website, manila.lpu.edu.ph, or our social media page, Lyceum of the Philippines University, Manila. Naka-pin post, nasa pinakataas ng ating page, ang ating guidelines for our enrollment reservation. And of course, para mga nagtatanong din, for our scholarship, guys, we have the application for JPL SHL scholarship is ongoing. Please log on to our website or click our link here, the bit.ly, the shortened link for the scholarship to know more about the details of our President's Scholarship. So ang privileges natin dyan, free tuition and free miscellaneous monthly stipend for 10 months, book allowance per semester, including allowance per year. So qualifications are posted on our website and on your screen. So guys, when things are okay, please visit us at Intramuros, Manila. We are Lyceum of the Philippines University, open from Monday to Friday and even on Saturday. So please scan the QR code for the admission details. And you may also visit our social media pages or our website to know more about LPU. So this has been Kuya JR. And please, guys, choose to take the lead, choose LPU. See you, future Lyceans, on your future home. Thank you, guys.
All right. So thank you, JR. And of course, thank you very much to our speakers. That's Christopher Cañadelia, Miss Grace Panganiban, and Sia Ilagan. And of course, thank you to the team of CPAD and CAS for this session today. Maraming salamat sa ating mga participants and audience.
And of course,
and
Ma'am Becky, wag natin kalimutan, next week, we have the part 2 of our career Pathfinder talk. So guys, please visit our social media pages for posting about our event next week. Ang topic naman natin, ma'am, no, for our talk is exploring the world of animation and multimedia design. So excited tayo dyan kasi mas marami tayong mapag-uusapan pa next week.
Okay, so stay tuned for next week's sessions. Thank you. So time to say goodbye. And students and the audience here, always keep safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.